From two dirty painters to seven-figure business owners, I'm Redion.
And I'm Karmelo.
And we'll be giving you guys the insider secrets to take your trades business to the next level.
From crazy stories to proven strategies, get ready to supercharge your business with us.
Welcome to the Dirty Painters Podcast. All right, guys, welcome to the first episode of the Dirty Painters Podcast. I'm here with my brother Karmelo and my business partner.
Hello, guys.
So the first episode will be a lot of kind of giving you guys a background of how we got started, how I moved to United States from Greece, and then what really got us into the trades business, getting started.
Basically, our origin story.
Yep, the origin story of Olympian.
So when did you move here?
So originally I moved here in 2013. I was 17, and then I moved here for college. I wanted to play college ball. So I played pro basketball in Greece. So I came here with the aspirations of going to the NBA, but I never realized how unathletic I was, no matter how smart and a good player and hardworking. So the dream to playing in the NBA kind of faded away. So I focused more on going to college. I was going to Oakland University at the time for a finance degree. And then also I was an F1 student. So I had to stay full-time to be able to stay in the country. And then at the time, the highest paying job, because I had to pay a lot of my expenses by myself, was painting. So that's how I got started. I met this guy at the gym, Agron. He was an Albanian painter. And then he gave me the opportunity to learn how to do epoxy floors at the time. I never held a brush in my life. I never really worked a day in my life. All I did was play basketball and work out. So it was a crazy transition going on the work field. So yeah, I started with Agron, learned how to hold the brush, how to sand, how to do we call it the bitch work. Basic work, cleaning. And then I was making $13 an hour. I learned a few things. He was not busy at all. So in Michigan, it snows a lot and then things slowed down in the winter. So I went on Craigslist, like every painter back in the day, and I started calling out people. And then after Agron, I got in with the Italians. That's where I learned a lot of like the high skills of like how to cut, how to roll properly, how to do patchwork, how to do like painter stuff. But those guys had a lot of issues. They would yell at you. They would just be crazy Italian guys. So it was a very toxic environment. And when I was younger, I was very hot-headed, so I could not last with them. And then I moved on. I found the Greeks, which were perfect craftsmen, 30 years in business. They did things the elite way. That's where I learned all the high-end stuff that moving forward, I transitioned to my business. But again, I was working under the table illegally. I was not even supposed to be working. So I was making like $15 an hour cash running the whole business for them. And at my gym again, that's where I met all my old bosses. There was this guy. He did commercial painting, and me and my friend Tony, he's a painter now too. We started working with him. He gave us a significant raise. I think it was like $25, $26 an hour.
That's a huge jump.
Yeah, for like 20 years old, making $25 an hour. It was crazy. I thought I was rich. So yeah, we moved on. We worked with him for like a year. And then you came in. You moved with mom and dad in
2017. So we got our visas to move in as permanent residents. I couldn't work at the time when I was 17 years old.
Yeah, you were still in high school.
Yeah, so I had to wait until I was 18. We started working together. I think it was about 3 months before we decided that, hey, this isn't really working for us. We're underpaid. We're doing all this work. I mean, I didn't have any experience at the time, but I feel like I was doing a lot of stuff. So I was doing the basic work.
So Karmelo was so bad in the beginning that we would be like, hey, just go hide over there. We'll compensate for you. Just go hide over there. Just don't do anything. Like, go get me a Monster or like water. So he had no painting experience at all. And my dad, he was a GC in Greece, but he hated painting. He didn't like painting at all. So he was like, I hate this. What are we doing? And then, our old boss was not treating us well. Very bad business owner. He never saw the potential or what we were bringing to the table, like the value as a 3-man crew plus Tony. We're 4 guys knocking out 100,000 square feet buildings for him. And he was just, when I asked him for a raise, he gave me $1 raise. So, anyways, yeah.
There was no opportunity for growth, so we saw ourselves that we were wasting our time. So might as well start our own thing. And then you filed the paperwork August 2nd, 2018.
August 2nd,
Yeah.
2018, that's when I was planning on doing other things. Like, for example, like how we came to be Olympian is because we're trying to start a clothing supplement company. The fitness industry was really popular at the time. Everybody was starting fitness companies. And then we're going to be Olympian Aesthetics with my cousin and two other guys, but they flaked on us. So I was like, oh, I like the name Olympian. Let's just do something on our own. So yeah, we went on Legal Zoom at the time, and then we filed Olympian Painting LLC in Michigan, and then the rest is history. I remember when we got our first job. Do you remember?
Yeah, the exterior in Southfield, Michigan, for anybody that's from Michigan, if you know where that is.
That was our first real job.
Yeah.
How about like this first one?
Oh, the half bathroom.
Yeah.
The two of us in a half bathroom. Oh my God.
Sue Augustine. So we got our first job. We sat home for like 3 weeks because nobody knew us. And we get a lead. We were paying leads at the time for a half bath. So I was like, okay, just to go get busy, we'll charge her $300. So me and Carmelo go there, $300. The bathroom is cigarette stained, bleeding through. I'm like, oh my God, we shot ourselves in the foot. So that job, we charged $300, ended up costing us like $1,200 to get the bathroom job. So first job, we lost money.
In our little Pontiac G6, the professional painters.
Yep, that's how we started our business, with the Pontiac G6 two-door coupe. That was my car that I was driving college. And now we're loading all our painters and sprayers up on that. And then we lasted with it for like what? A year, I think.
Yeah, I think a year.
Until we got our first truck, because we had a van, and then we got our first truck and things started rolling. We started making a little bit of money. So yeah, that's the origin story of Olympian. That's how we got started. We started pretty much from zero. I remember our first sprayer was a Pro X. What was it?
19 or 17?
I think it was a 19.
It was a Home Depot sprayer.
Yeah.
We got it at Home Depot.
And that sprayer, I did the math one time, just randomly sitting with a $600 sprayer. We sprayed over $2 million worth of work. And it just gave up on us. He's like, I'm done, guys. You guys don't need me anymore.
And the last job that it died on us was what was it? The dry fall job that was 6,000 square feet? Or?
Yeah, we're spraying a 6,000 square feet dry fall job, open ceiling, 20 feet high with it. And then the pump just like, guys, just let me die in peace.
That was its send off.
Yeah. And we still have that sprayer. It's in our Olympian museum. I told my brother and my dad, I'm like, we're never gonna get rid of the first van, and we're never gonna get rid of the first sprayer. So,
and the first power washer, we still have all of those.
Oh yeah, the first pressure washer too.
Even if they're not working, we're still gonna keep them with us.
So if you think of starting a painting business, you don't need a lot of money up front. Like for under $2,000, I'd say it's a happy medium for all your legal fees and your first sprayer. You can get up and running, and then you just buy your tools as you go. Carmelo, what do you think were some of the early struggles that we had as brand new business owners from your own perspective?
I would say finding the jobs. In the very beginning, our marketing wasn't we didn't have a strategy for it. We were just either praying to God, or we had a few lead services that we were using and just waiting on them. And we didn't realize that what those lead services do is they just sell them to multiple people like us, like painting contractors. So we were going to a job that would pay $160 for the lead, and then we wouldn't know that 8 other people were bidding on it. So there's a very low conversion right there.
So yeah, the first thing would be obviously no reputation, because they're a brand new brand. You have no brand awareness. People don't know of you. Also, another thing that we were really struggling with in the beginning was we had no structure or organization. Like, for example, we were keeping track of our books, our money in, money out on a little journal. So we had no accounting software, no sense of business or structure in the beginning. And also the no leads, no brand awareness, we were very, very slow at first. And then that being slow in the beginning led to doing a lot of sub work for others, especially for a big painting company that all they do is sub work, which was horrible. There is good people out there. Like, for example, us, when we sub work, our subcontractors make phenomenal money with us and they're always happy. But a lot of these bigger companies, they screw over the subcontractor because they charge very cheap so they can keep their volume up. And then the subcontractor takes a hit. So yeah, we did first few months, a few sub jobs, and then we're making no money. We're making less money than we were making working for somebody else.
Yeah, it was less than hourly when we put the numbers down actually in
Yeah.
our journal.
We're back to making $13 an hour. I'm like, I might as well just go bust tables or something. And that's when we took the leap of faith and we're like, you know what? Let's start doing outreach or start telling people, meeting them and tell them, hey, that's what we do. If you ever need a painter, let us know. And that was the first time that we put the painting business on social media. Nobody else was doing social media for a painting business at the time. So we're kind of like, I don't want to say pioneers, but we thought like that might be a nice niche market to market our business because nobody else was doing it. And then once we did that, then we just got flooded. I remember February, we were just slammed.
Yeah, that's when we started hiring our first employees. So the ball started rolling, and it started rolling pretty fast.
Yeah, we just all of a sudden, and we always did really good work. So people would talk about how good of a job they'll be getting from us, and then just things spread. So every time you started a painting business or any trades business, in the beginning will be slow until people get
To know you.
you get aware that you exist, and then if you do good work, you're not gonna struggle past 6 months, guaranteed. I've seen it many times. And then yeah, the no employees after we got busy also comes back to having no structure. So we were just hiring anybody. We just put an ad on Craigslist or we just asked people around, and we had like crackheads showing up. We had people like crazy people. Like I have crazy stories of employees that were trying at the time. So that's another thing that structure really slowed us down in the beginning, training and acquiring good talent to help us execute the jobs.
Yeah, our hiring process was just, like I said, just show up to the job site and help us out, see what you can do.
Yeah.
Nothing, no background check or no training whatsoever before.
One of the most common questions that we get asked, especially from people that we consult or our audience on social media, like if you guys could go back in 2018 and you could start your business again with what you know now, what would you do different? I would let Carmelo answer that first.
So, knowing what we know now and what we've seen, all the tests we've done, I would say don't be afraid to invest into marketing. The more you put in it, the more you're going to get out
What
of
if you
it.
don't have money though?
If you don't have money, just go out there. Go out to your like local realtors or like brokers or designers. Like, hey, I will offer to paint this vanity for you for free. Or if you want, let's say, this accent wall or a bedroom free for you, just keep me in mind for any of the future projects. Just put your name out there. Make people know you. Like, hey, Olympian just offered to paint this room for me. I'm just gonna use them in this next job I have coming up in the next week or so. So
What's
some
some
outreach.
what's something that you'd highly advise not to do
Highly advised not to do.
if you're just starting out as a fresh business owner in the trades or even like painters?
Flyers and door knockers for us weren't really a success. I think we even spent a little bit of money on it and the time that we had to, hand them out or go to neighborhoods or target some, do some research to target the nice neighborhoods. We didn't get any leads from it. I feel like that was a waste of time for us. It might work for you, but I don't see it in
So
my eyes.
we had a big test sample that we did with door knockers and flyers. So I think at one time we got like what 8,000 flyers. We sent them out, and we were doing them out ourselves, and also knocking on doors. So it's a very invasive way of marketing, and also comes into a sense of like being desperate. Like I don't think it's a good way to put yourself out there if you try and build a reputable business. And then it's just like, when was the last time you bought something from somebody that knocked on your door? I'm like, if somebody knocks on my door, I'm like, what the heck do you want?
Yeah, you get very defensive when somebody knocks on your door. It's like you're invading your private space.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to buy anything. Just get out of my house.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let you in. Come and paint. I don't even know you.
Yeah, especially down here in Florida, canvassers and like door to door sales is just nonstop. So it's like I never bought anything from them. That's why I was like, if I put myself into the customer's shoes, and then I'm like, what? How would I buy if somebody approached me? If somebody approached me and came and knocked on my door, I would not do it. So a lot of gurus out there, we call them furus. They'll charge you money to consult you, and the next thing you know, they'll tell you, "Hey, yeah, here's my door knocking guide. Go knock on doors if you want to grow your business." Guys, it's so cheap to advertise on Instagram and Facebook. You can get for $100, you can get 10 times the outreach and then the awareness that you could get knocking 5,000, 10,000 doors. So stay away from door knocking if you're starting out the business. And also lead services. That's something that we tried in the beginning. We spent a lot of money, tens of thousands of dollars. And then, like Carmelo said, lead services, what they do is they share the leads with multiple contractors. So you have to chase the customer, and the customer gets overwhelmed if he gets 5 phone calls
Painting companies.
from painting companies. They're like, "Holy shit! I put my info, and then next thing you know, I got 10 people calling me." And then a lot of the lead services, they're not transparent. They'll say like, "Oh, we only give the lead to 2 people, or we'll give you an exclusive lead." And then next thing you know, the customer like, "Oh, you're the seventh person that's calling me."
And then at that point, when they're getting all these calls, they might not
Yeah.
even want to do the project at the point
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
all these people are bothering me.
Exactly. So yeah, lead services. If we knew what we know now, we would have not spent tens of thousands of dollars with lead services, and we tried all of them. Like I could name like 6, 7 on top of my head, and then the results were the same. Well, we got some jobs. I'm not gonna say we didn't get any jobs, but it was a lot of chasing, a lot of competing, and a lot of back and forth. I remember one time I walked into a job and there was like 4 painters there estimating the same job. I'm like, how did you guys? Just curious. I was like, how did you guys get this lead? And then they were like, oh yeah, we got it from X lead service, and the other guy would be like, oh, I got it from this lead service. So that's when I realized that the lead services would be selling leads to other lead services. So it was like a circle. So yeah, if you're just starting out, take our advice. Don't use lead services. There's way cheaper ways to market your business.
Yeah, when we were putting the numbers down, I mean, like you said, we got jobs, but at the end of the day, the amount of money you spend on marketing to get those jobs, I think the jobs you got, it's just the margins weren't there.
And then you also, when you spend those marketing dollars in lead services, you're not building any social equity, which is very important in today's market. So
That's true.
if you're not, for example, you might run a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad, and then you spend X amount of dollars on it. You might not get a lot of work, but you're building social equity because you're gaining followers, you're building awareness for your business. People are understanding that you exist in the market. So they might not call you today, so that ad might not convert to customers today, but down the road, that audience is gonna start paying you, guaranteed. That's why our biggest thing is running awareness ads. We're not even trying to sell anything right now. We're just trying to make people aware of our existence and what we do.
Yeah, so if they ever need you, they know who to call.
Exactly. Or if their grandma says like, "Oh, I need a painter for my cabinets," the granddaughter goes like, "Oh yeah, I know, I follow these guys on social media," and that's how you get that lifetime value with your audience. And also with Google, we spent a couple $1,000s with Google. We never had success with it. There's Google is so competitive. There's so many painters and tradespeople advertising. I think if you're just starting out, you don't have the budget to go and compete with those guys.
Yeah, and I think at the time when our first few Google ads, I want to say, we didn't even know what SEO was. So we wouldn't be getting kicked up from the other ads.
Yeah, like
So
Google,
search engine optimization, it's you have to spend a whole lot of money to actually do it right, so you can get results from it. So it's a big marketing spend, but it might work in some markets. Again, we're not discrediting it.
it works. I know people who it works
Yeah.
great for, but like even us at the point we are right now, like we're pretty solid painting company. The only amount that we spend for SEO is like $200 a month. We're not investing anything for Google paid ads or SEO. Just we just do it just to do it because it helps our website. And then when they just do it in the package. So if you're just starting out, stay away from high investment marketing means.
So what took our business to the next level, do you think?
So I think what really took our business to the next level is when we realized that the more money we spend on advertising, the more money we'll make. And I think that's a thing that a lot of business owners are struggling in the beginning. They're scared to spend the money. They're scared to invest in their advertising. They're scared to pay those ads and then have them blast out. So I think when we start putting like real budgets into our ads, or like $1,000 an ad, 2,000, $3,000 an ad, and we start being scared, um, that's when we really start getting the lead flow. We really start getting people to know of us. We really start to get the ball grooving, selling. Again, we had no structure, but we were getting overwhelmed with leads. So
And work. Yeah. So we started hiring more people. Our hiring process got a little bit more refined, but still not to the point where we are at today. I would say the same thing, but also building our social media, like Instagram page, the social equity that we built at the same time while running those ads, the high paid ads, also helped us out build our reputation because we still have a great reputation even up in
mhm.
Michigan.
Yeah, people still call us from Michigan. We've been off the market for 3 years, and I'll get at least 10, 20 leads a month from Michigan just organically of people just talking like, oh, who did this for you? Like, oh, the Olympian guys. And they call us because I still have the Michigan number, my personal number. They're like, oh, I need my kitchen done. I'm like, where are you located? I'm like, oh, Rochester Hills, Michigan. I'm like, we moved out of there from 3 years ago.
You're 3 years late. And those are hot leads, like people that already trust you because their relative, friend, or coworker, they already put in a good word for you. They've even seen your product too.
Exactly. So yeah, number one thing, spend more. Like advertising is, if there's any degenerates out there that gamble, advertising is a lot like gambling. So you have to play the field. You have to put a bunch of bets. You have to see what hits, and then you have to bet enough times to realize what are your winning bets, and then you gamble enough to realize and to become the house because the house never loses. So that's how advertising works, at least how it's been working with us. Not every ad and marketing campaign that we're on gives us results, but we took the risk to like, okay, we're gonna put a bigger budget, we're gonna run more ads, and we'll see which ads perform. And then the ones that are outperforming the other ones, then we're just gonna increase the budget, we're gonna press them, and then we're gonna let them ride. So yeah, that's what really will take your business to the next level, and also starting to understand your numbers as well, because we're very unorganized. And until we met our accountant Shadi, we were doing everything ourselves. We're bouncing back and forth, no bookkeeping, no structure. So another thing that really took our business to the next level at the time was understanding our numbers, understanding what comes in, what goes out, understanding the financials of the business, understanding the margins. We didn't even know what a business profit margin was at the time. So those things, it's what they really gonna help you scale and become a profitable business, because a lot of times you might be overwhelmed with work, you might be getting a lot of leads, and then you're losing money or you're not making enough because you're overspending on materials, you're overpaying, or you don't know your numbers.
Yeah, knowing your numbers is important. Like even something tiny as negotiating your material prices. In the very beginning, we did that, and also perfecting our process. So something simple, like a quick example for you guys: the seams on the floor paper. We like to use white tape; is a little bit cheaper than the blue tape. We like to use the blue frog tape. So something like that, it adds up when you're doing multiple projects at a time, week, a month, or even a year.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of people think I'm crazy, but also I got into analyzing the numbers in my business. I would look at everything. I would look at my costs for frog tape. I would look at my costs for the 3M cheap paint, and I'll be like, okay, frog tape cost me $5 a roll versus a tape that cost me two and a half or $2 a roll. And we are very meticulous in covering floors. And when I was doing the numbers, I'm like, I could be saving $150 per job using the cheaper paint on the seams where it's not important for the paint to bleed through versus just using frog tape all over. So those are the things that when you start doing at big scale, like how we're doing right now, saving $150 per job on just tape can amount to huge savings on the long run. So those are the things that you need to start looking from the beginning so you can create good habits as a business owner, knowing the financials of your business. And then yeah, we had no SOPs as well too. I remember we were just winging a lot of job sites.
Yeah, whatever we knew. It wasn't until that we started getting a few callbacks sometimes, just a few touch up work, which is still, for me personally, I don't like having callbacks. Like we finish everything, it's 100% done. We have the confidence that we don't have to go back there and do something. So I think one night we were just watching this movie called The Founder. I don't know if any of you guys have watched it. And we started looking at this easy system, they called it. And it was all seamless. Everyone was working harmoniously, and everything was done right. It was quality. So at the time, we thought, why don't we create a system like this where everybody can follow it through? Nobody has to ask somebody else, hey, what's next? What do you want me to do? And at the end, the end product is always the same.
Exactly. So the reason we started thinking about creating systems was we were it was the summer of 2019, I think, where we got slammed with work, big interiors. We had I think we had like 7 crews running at the same time, us working on the field too. And then our most popular callback was, oh, I got paint specks on my floor. Oh, I got paint specks on my toilet. I got paint specks on my countertop. Because at the time we had no SOP. For example, step one, when we go into a house, no painting happens and we cover everything. So we just let our guys free roll and do whatever they want. So I was like, Carmelo, like literally, we're here scrapping. I remember that John guy, the in
John,
Wixom, that we did. We painted a townhouse. It was a big townhouse,
yeah,
like 3,200 square feet townhouse, and we had a crew, our guys, and then they would just like drag tarps and
tarps.
runners around, no coverage, nothing. And I remember it was a far job from where we lived. So the guy calls me. He's like, "Hey, you guys got paint on my tub. You got paint on my floor." And then we're very good. As soon as somebody calls back, we're right there to fix it. Customer service is very important to us. So I remember it was a bad day. I was having a bad day. I'm driving out there. I'm spending 3 hours scrubbing floors, removing paint. And then when I come back, there's a huge accident on I-75. And then I'm sitting in traffic for 2.5 hours. So I'm like, what the heck am I doing here? I'm like, we have to fix this. And that's how we came with the first SOP. I think that's the first SOP that we ever created was before we even bring paint inside the house, everything has to be covered. Everything has to be meticulous. Everything needs to be like seal tied.
Paper, tape, or plastic, anything.
Anything.
Anything that's not getting painted.
I'm like, we're done scrubbing floors, and then it was becoming a habit. Every job we have to clean floors, we have to clean vanities, and it was just we were burning through time. So that was the first SOP that we created, and then we started becoming more analytical. I remember that's when I started pulling myself off the field a little bit because I was doing most of the spraying for a lot of the job sites. So I was like, okay, now I need to focus on how to make these crews better, how to make the systems dump proof so anybody can follow. Like Carmelo said, the easy system. If you get it's easy system is from the McDonald's founder. So how he created an assembly line system. Like the same burger that you get in Michigan is gonna be the same burger that you're gonna get in Europe. So or in Miami or anywhere. So everybody follows the same process. Everybody follows the same steps to achieve the same results every single time. So that was a big stepping stone as well. Once we started growing as a business, it was spending more money, understanding our numbers, and then
SOP.
training our guys SOPs.
Build a foundation for a better structure and made us more organized.
Yes, because a lot of times, a lot of people think to grow a painting business is all they need is leads. I talk with hundreds of people. I'm like, what do you think will take the business to the next level? And they're like, oh, I just need leads, radio, and I just need more work. I need more. And I'm like, is your business set up to handle that amount of work? Is it ready to scale? Because a lot of times when you don't have the right systems, like the foundational work in place, you're gonna be scaling a liability because you can get the leads. I can give you leads. You can go out there and get your own leads. But if you don't have the systems to execute those leads properly and efficiently, you're gonna be scaling a liability, which you don't want to be doing. And I see that a lot of painting companies. They get overwhelmed with leads, they get a lot of work, they don't have the proper guys, they don't have the proper systems, they're not efficient, and then they end up burning through money. So that's what I'm saying. Don't scale a liability, scale a profitable business. And then how you do that? You do that by understanding your numbers and understanding the systems and then building a good foundation. For example, when we first got into cabinet painting, what was the number one thing in cabinet painting is getting to know the product, getting to understand what you're using. Tell tell
Oh
our
my
audience
god.
the story with our first cabinet job.
This was all. We had no product knowledge. We were just relying on a Sherwin Williams, not even rep, like a salesperson.
No, like a store associate.
Yeah, store associate. Sorry. And they typically recommend multi-purpose primer and then super paint. Just go on top of it. You should be good. So we go along with that. We get some multi-purpose primer. Everything goes on. And I think even at one point we didn't even try to go for the semi-gloss, but we
We just use satin.
last second we switched to the semi-gloss. We're like, oh, it might make it more durable. Job is finished. We put them back on, and then I don't even think a few hours go by where you get a text. And what did the text say?
The guy goes like, "Oh yeah, I tried to open my cabinet and my nail hit it and the paint came right off." And he goes like, "Is that normal? Is it supposed to happen?" And then I had to come up with some bullshit at the time. I'm like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's completely normal. The paint is still curing. It's not fully dry." So I'm like, "I'll be right there to fix it." So I go right there with with Dad, and I start testing the back of the cabinet. Everything is peeling right off. I'm like, "Oh my god, we're screwed." Um, and then how we fixed that job is the emerald urethane at the time was a really good product. It just came out there. The formula was amazing. So we just sanded it, went right over it, and then told the guy, "Oh, we had to do this to give you extra protection." And that's how we saved that one job. It could have went south really, really bad um, because we didn't have the project knowledge. And what number one mistake that we did on that job was that we tested it on the customer's house on an active job site. And that was a good lesson that we took from that job. I was like, Carmelo, from now on, if we're going to try something new or a new service, we're going to have to test it somewhere like our own house or our own cabinet or whatever, because we cannot gamble with the customer's job because it can backfire you really bad.
Yeah, don't do guesswork in a client's house.
Yeah, that's why like we came up with like, hey, if you're gonna be getting to something new, don't guess, just test and then offer it to your customer. That's gonna save you a lot of headaches in painting, and it's gonna save you a lot of money too. Another thing that we really focused on was the branding. So what's branding? Branding is it's not only the visuals, your logo, the colors, the way that you wrap your vehicles. Branding is a branding strategy. So what branding and what it does? Branding makes your target customer, it influences them to buy your product. So how do you create a branding strategy to influence them to hire you instead of your competitors? Because that's the end result of branding. It makes your customer choose you over your competitor. We focus really on that in not in the early stages, but like coming down the road, like especially when we start doing cabinets, by showcasing how good we are and how perfect we are at our spray finishes. We came up. I remember I started calling my brother the glass master at the time. Just it was very catchy. A lot of our reels were going viral. A lot of people are asking questions like, "How do you guys make the things look so shiny? How do you guys come up with some so nice finishes?" And then we start calling our shop the Glass Factory. A lot of people thought we were like a meth lab or something. I'm like, "No, we're just spray cabinets, guys. We're not doing any meth work here." So yeah, the Glass Factory, the slogans really helped our and propelled our brand not only in the Michigan market at the time, but globally. I remember we had guys from Europe trying to fly us out to teach them how to spray. It helped us a lot on the branding side and
Put us on the map.
put us on the map. Not just because we were good at what we're doing, but a lot of people were like admiring of what we're doing, which brought a lot of credibility to our customers choosing us to hire us.
Yeah, and everybody started referring to us as either the Olympians or the Glass Masters. So it really put our name on the map. And I would say we were one of the first painting companies that really blew up on Instagram, at least.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there was Idaho Painter at the time, but
Yeah.
Idaho Painter was most of
Educational.
doing doing like tool
Products.
reviews and showing how to paint a house, how to paint a bedroom. But us, we came in and we're like showcasing high end work, how to be the best spray finisher, how to give your customer the best results. And a lot of painters started looking up to that. And that's what like led to a lot of other business ventures that we started after, like the glass master course, the ebooks, the consulting, because a lot of people were asking a question, especially for product knowledge. Because one thing with us is after the first mistake that we do, the first cabinet job, I'm like, we're never doing that again. Every time we would get into something new, try a new product, we would stress test it. We would take it through our shop. That's why having your own shop helps a lot. And then we would just paint it in different conditions, paint it in different dilutions, literally like chemistry. That way we could find the breaking points. We could find
Durable it
how
is,
durable it is,
if it's
how it's
hydrophobic,
yep.
any traits for the product. Just this other week, we had this cabinet coating company reach out to us, and the first thing we asked for them is, "Hey, we need a spec sheet. Do you guys provide a warranty just in case?" And as soon as they said they don't really provide a warranty with it, we just didn't want to touch it.
Yeah, we are very picky with who we work with. Every time a manufacturer will come up to us and they're like, "Hey, Radion, we want Olympian to start using this." What we do is, okay, give us samples. We'll stress test it, and then we'll see if it's up to our standard. Because anything that we touch comes with a 7-year warranty, personal guarantee of our brand. So we want to make sure whatever we put on a customer's house can last 7 years. Also, we don't want something to be chipping. We don't want a cabinet paint to falling apart. A lot of those things. So the testing, the stress testing in the glass factory, that's something that really helped us become um,
The brand we are at.
the brand we are right now. And then people are looking up to us and then asking us all these questions. I like, for example, anytime that we start using a new paint, next thing you know, 500 other painters are using it right off the bat because we are using it. So we bring a lot of credibility just because of the testing that we did. And then that's very important, I think. If you're even if you're a smaller painting company, having product knowledge will help you and will assist you into being a better salesperson as well. Because a lot of times I go into estimates and then I just blow the customer away by just being super technical. They have no idea what I'm talking about. Like they don't know like how many wet millages I'm supposed to spray. But just me being technical and knowing the product gives the customer a sense of security because like, okay, this guy knows his stuff, knows what he's doing, knows the product, knows the application levels, knows what he's gonna be doing to my house, and then that way they get a sense of security, they trust you more, and then you can sell them higher, which it's
They
not.
see you as a
Yeah,
craftsman, then they don't see you as a painter. Joshmo just goes there like, yeah, I'll use whatever on this and this. Don't worry about it. When you're conveying knowledge to them, you're not really conveying the knowledge to your competition. You're just telling them, hey, this is what's going to happen. These are the products we're going to use. That product is hydrophobic or it's this thick, so it's great for durability. It's scuff resistant. So they get all that information flooded to them and they trust you in a sense.
exactly. Like 80% of the competitors that will go in there, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, we spray X product from X box store, and then we just do 2 coats of primer, 2 coats of this, and then they leave." Versus us, even our sales reps now, we tell them like, "Hey, when you go into an estimate, you're trying to sell a cabinet job, interior or exterior, take them through the process of exactly step by step of how we execute the job, and then take them through the technical data shit of every product that we're gonna be using. The primers, why those primers? The top coats, why those top coats? The degreasers, like we even get like super analytical about the tape that we use. Like, hey, we use this tape because we don't want to have bleed throughs. And that will separate you from the competitors. And also it's gonna help you sell higher ticket jobs because you get higher ticket clients that appreciate the value that you bring in. Another question that we also get asked is how did our business, because our business was, we started right before COVID hit at the time. I remember it was very crazy in Michigan. A lot of people asking us, how did you guys do through that time? um, do you remember?
I would say in the beginning, when it first started happening, all the quarantines and stuff, we got worried for a second. We're like, oh, not a lot of people want us to work in their house. But I would say a week or 2 weeks into quarantine, we started 2 or 3 projects and we were getting fines from the city of either Detroit or Shelby Township,
Yeah.
wherever we were working, just because we were working there. But I really think COVID really skyrocketed our business.
Yeah. So it was pretty crazy in Michigan at the time. Everything was shut down, it was like ghost town. We had, I think, like 11 projects going on at the same time. Like, everything stopped. So we started panicking. I'm like, what the heck? All our guys sitting home, us sitting home, we're going crazy. It was snowing too. So there was nothing to do. And like a week went by, and then my ads were just going crazy because everybody was home sitting on their phone. So all they would be watching was our spray videos. And then people were calling us like, yeah, we don't care. We think COVID is bullshit. Can you guys come paint our cabinets? Can you come do this? And I'm like, you know what, man? If they don't care, we don't care too. Let's just go out there. And Michigan was fining you at the time if you were out of the house. You're getting a misdemeanor ticket. It was crazy. I think we collected like over 25 tickets because our trucks were out on the houses, and then the city would come and knock, be like, "Oh, what are you guys doing over there? You guys are non-essential." That's when we created shirts. We're like essential as fuck, and we're just going out and working. But yeah, COVID really skyrocketed our business just because of the way we were advertising. We got so busy. We were working like crazy.
Yeah.
And also social media was key for that too, I think.
Yeah. And the main thing with that is because you were putting so much money into the marketing, like we said before, we were dominating the ad space.
Yep.
So everybody would see us, or they would see us often. So they think to themselves, shoot, why not?
Yeah. Social media created a lot of opportunities with us just because we were dominating the ad space. We were all they were seeing at the time. And then that's what created those opportunities that we think helped us really propel our business and take it to the next level during COVID time when everybody was shutting down or not being busy. We just took a risk again and we're like, you know what, screw it. We're just going to go out there and just blow up. And I think that's when we really started going viral too. That's when Reels was introduced on Instagram, I think.
Yeah.
And we're just posting content, posting nonstop all day, 3 times a day. And that's how we got a lot of other opportunities too, linking up with companies, linking up with other painters, connecting with painters, like even in Florida. I started thinking and considering Florida during that time because I was talking with painters down here, like, oh, it's nice year round. It's nice. It's warm. You can work exterior. So I was like, that might be a good move for us. And that's how one of my buddies, he's a sales rep for us now, first moved down here because he couldn't do Michigan anymore. So he's like, I'm out of here. And then I came to visit him and then saw the market. And I linked up with a few painters, which I met from social media and our brand awareness and how they knew of us. And I worked with them a little bit. I saw how things were down here. I was like, it might be a good move for us to come down in Florida. We're in Florida now. And then that was a social media opportunity that I would have never had if we didn't really do what we were doing at the time with our branding.
Yeah, if we didn't put ourselves out there. And I think since COVID started, all the way to the end of the year, it was a steady growth.
Yeah. No, I don't think it was steady. It was like
it was
to the moon. It was like a rocket launch.
Especially at the end of the year.
It was like a rocket just took off and it still hasn't landed. It just keeps going. And then that's what led to the other business opportunities, like I was telling you guys. That's when I never thought of being a consultant, but now I'm like, okay, I consult over 200 painters on how to run their businesses, the product knowledge. And then I never thought I was going to have a marketing agency, but now we run ads for over 100 painters in different markets. They just came to us from social media, or like even the bookkeeping company. I never thought I hated accountants. I hated bookkeeping. So now we own a bookkeeping company that we specialize in contractors only. So all these opportunities, they came from the social media. They just came naturally. We never really chased them. There was just a need. We're just good at it. Or there was a problem that needed solved. We solved it and like, okay, let's solve it for other people as well. All right, guys, that wraps up our first episode of the Dirty Painters podcast and our origin story.
Be sure to follow us on our business Instagram at Olympian Painting or at Olympian_Redion or at Olympian_Karmelo for more content. And feel free to send us any questions on social media. We'd love to hear from you and talk to you in the next episode.
If you like this episode, guys, be sure to share with a fellow painter or tradie. Until next time, this is Redion.
And I'm Karmelo.
Signing off from the Dirty Painters podcast. Thank you.
Take care.